Hi, good evening. Tonight I am being joined by Wegan, who are inspirational bloggers and vloggers, and they are LGBT and they are campaigning for equality in fertility treatment, which is amazing. So we're going to hear about that, and we're also going to hear about their own personal conception journey because they have chosen their sperm donor and they're going to tell us more about that. So let me join them now. You can ask questions, please do, as we chat. Now, thanks to those who are joining. Should be any second.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you both?
We're
Yeah,
good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Good. The screen looks a bit fuzzy. Is that my internet or yours?
Well, it's not showing it for us. Let me get off Wi-Fi.
Oh, I hope it's okay. So very excited to. Oh dear, I don't know whose screen it is. That's better. That's better. Okay, cool.
We're like literally right by the Wi-Fi router. We thought that would help.
But I'm right in London, and you'd expect better, but who knows? So please introduce yourself to everyone who doesn't know you, and then I want to talk a bit, if you're happy to, about your own conception journey, picking your sperm donor, and your amazing campaign.
Yeah, sounds great.
Sure. Well, I'm Whitney.
And I'm Megan.
We are wife and wife. We've been together for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
We met when we were 15. No.
We were 20 and 21, not that far off.
And we're also YouTubers and bloggers, and we've shared our lives online for over a decade just to raise visibility for lesbians. And yeah, it's pretty much us in a nutshell. Anything else to add?
No, that was pretty good.
And so, just rewinding quite a long way back, because I know you guys have been together for a long time. When you both, I guess, came out, did you ever think about your fertility journey or what that meant for you in terms of having kids?
No, I mean, the only way it kind of factored in is because obviously a lot of the time parents are like, oh, I'm not going to be a grandparent. And we always were like, well, duh, yeah, everyone has kids now. So it was always like, we knew we could have kids. That was about it. And then we talked about wanting kids. Always when we first started dating, but it was never a factor of, well, how is this actually going to happen in reality and how much is that actually going to cost? No.
So do you think that some people just thought didn't even realize there were options for you as a same-sex couple to be able to have children?
Oh yeah, definitely. It is always almost the number one thing that parents will say to their kids is suddenly they think that's been taken away from them. It's just like, but how could you do this to me? I wanted to be a grandparent. It's like,
you still can.
You still can. There's many ways.
And it takes a while to realize they still can be. And
but once they're on board, they're so excited. Like they can't wait to meet their future child. So
I bet. So you've picked your sperm donor.
Yes.
How was that process for you?
It was different than we thought, in a sense that we thought it'd be quite exciting journey. Loads of guys to pick from, and it was harder than we thought. And we went through quite a few different sperm banks, realizing different levels of what they offered, and as to whether in the UK you can't see their photos or hear their voice or find out much about them. And so straight away we just didn't want to find a sperm donor from the UK. That wasn't a good enough match for us. And then we luckily found Cryos International, who are based in Denmark, and they offer such a great range of
you can see not only their baby photos, their adult photos, so what they look like later in life. You can see their handwriting, hear their voice, the whole medical screening. It's pretty amazing.
Have you seen him as an adult then?
We have, yes.
What was that like? Because I've only seen our sperm donor as a child.
That was actually really fascinating. Because we'd actually narrowed down and picked our sperm donor before we saw the adult photo. It was kind of like the final thing we wanted to see, just 100% to see what does he look like older, does he still, because we kind of were trying to pick someone that had similar facial features to both of us, which we don't have similar facial features at all, but like in the middle, because we want our children to share the same donor. So we were just like, it was like a moment of when you go to click on the adult photo, please. And then, it was like.
Very handsome.
Yeah, it was great.
As a baby, he looked like me as a baby. So that's kind of what
that's what drew him to us, was that he looked quite like Whitney as a child.
But more like Megan as an adult.
Me as an adult, which is really weird.
Meant to be.
Amazing. And what's next? And then please tell us about the campaign.
Well, we embarked on our baby journey this year. We used to be travel bloggers before COVID, so we were traveling a lot, and we kind of kept saying like, oh, next year we'll start the journey next year, and then we had last year said, right, for sure 2020.
I mean, we thought 2020 was going to be it, you know, the best year like of our lives.
But we thought we'd get a bit more traveling in there before we probably embark fully on this journey, but obviously
2020 had other plans for us, but everything happens for a reason. Sometimes you can't understand it, but it kind of forced us to nest and really get serious about it, you know, embarking on the journey, the logistics, going through the process, you know, purchasing the sperm, and it is a process, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot, many different levels we've been through, and really we wanted to start with home insemination, which is why obviously we knew we always wanted sperm from a sperm bank, and then we thought we'd be able to purchase it and do home insemination, so give it a go at home, maybe like 2 or 3 goes, and if it didn't work then we would go
in a loving environment, not having to be forced down the clinical route yet, you know, just to see if we could do it at home. And then lo and behold, you know, to our surprise, we found out that sperm from sperm banks is illegal to ship to your house, and that was made illegal in 2005, wasn't it? So we were quite what's the word, shocked and
upset. I was like, I literally
changed your plans again.
It changed our plans, and I contacted a few fertility clinics like, but if it gets sent to you, can I not just
pick it up?
Like,
no, can't do that.
So yeah, that
was when you started to think these rules need to be fairer because I'm being forced to go to a fertility clinic and pay now.
Yeah, absolutely. The only route we have is to go and pay money, and also go down mandatory checks as if we're medically infertile before we even tried once to even get pregnant. So in order for me to do IUI, obviously when we wanted to have the AMH levels and uterus levels checked, we both did it so that we could know where we stand and if it was still me to go first. And then I had to have a high COSI test done before I do my first round of artificial insemination, which is obviously check if your tubes are blocked, which I get, but I feel like it should have been my choice, but I have no choice. I have to do it if I want IUI. So again, that's another cost. And very painful.
Is that the dye through the tubes?
Yeah. So again, I just found that weird because obviously it's in place because most people, if they're heterosexual going down that route, are going there because they've had problems getting pregnant. So before they spend any money on IUI, IVF,
totally get that.
You may as well rule that out. But for it to be mandatory and not have a choice, when I haven't even once in my life tried to get pregnant, it's just quite crazy.
And they didn't find a problem?
No, luckily, you know, textbook, they said. So fingers crossed. I mean, we do know other lesbian couples where everything has looked absolutely fine and then they've still struggled to get pregnant through IUI. But we're just hoping, we haven't tried yet, so our first one will hopefully be in January, we're thinking. And we'll just see how it goes.
But again, we have no clue what's in store. So
I know. January, that's so soon. How exciting.
It seems like 2021. I feel like COVID's gone, but it's not.
Exactly. They'll just open up travel again, you know, as and when it happens. So how did you sort of know how many straws to buy, knowing that you want to, do you want a couple of children ideally? Is that what the plan would be if it all goes to plan?
Ideally, we want 2. I mean, I was an only child and Megan was one of 3. So 2 sounds like a nice in the middle. So ideally, we both want to carry as well, pass on our genes to each, and then they'll also share that, you know, DNA with the donor. So Megan is going to go first, and then depending on how that goes, I'll decide if she's going to go. No, I'm kidding.
I'll decide if you're going next or not.
And then the plan is in a couple years later, I'm going to go as well.
Okay.
So maybe they'll be 15, 18 months apart, ideally, is the plan.
So how many straws did you buy then?
We've bought 5 at the moment.
Not for 5 kids, but just
obviously
in case.
we don't know. I might use them all up. I think we're just going to take it as it goes. If I am clearly about to use them all up, then we'll have to go and order more to make sure that we have, you know, some reserve for Whitney. Because obviously we don't know if and when he could no longer donate or run out. So it's very scary. We haven't even checked to see what the level's at since we bought it. I'm a bit scared to do so.
That is very nerve-wracking as well, knowing it could go like...
I remember seeing ours go down and that panicked me as well.
Really?
Yeah, because I think we got some of the last files.
Mm.
So yeah, but
Yeah.
you never know. You may not need all 5 that you've got. We ended up actually selling some of ours back.
Oh,
Yeah, I only found that out, I think, on your webinar, actually, that you did with
Yeah.
Prize International, that you can actually
We had no
sell them
idea.
back. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, brilliant.
Fingers
Hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. You can.
That'd be nice.
That's amazing though that you had such a good success story.
How many did you buy?
I think 5.
Ah,
I think, or maybe 4, and then we purchased another one when the first round didn't work because panic set in.
Yeah.
I can't quite remember, but I remember a lot of umming and ahhing on weighing up costs versus
It's so hard, isn't it?
it's so
like
true.
success rates and not really knowing. And what are your thoughts on reciprocal IVF?
I mean, I love the idea.
I
We
think-
both do, don't we?
Yeah, I think the idea is amazing. Like, it would be wonderful. And that's something we might consider, like if we, you know, if the second child,
Or this doesn't work.
or this doesn't work. Yeah, I mean, it's something we haven't ruled out entirely, because it would be really special, I think, if we could do that. And what a story to tell the kiddos one day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So tell us about the campaign. Obviously, this is where it all stemmed from.
Yes.
Yes, it stemmed from the home insemination bit, and then as we've been going along, we've realised that if we needed IVF, or if any other LGBTQ plus couple needs help, they have to fund 6 rounds of IUI themselves in order to basically prove infertility, which is in contrast to heterosexual couples, which requires them to have unprotected sex for 2 years, which we know, has its own burden, and it is a long way.
And we totally understand that.
But there's no financial cost, and that was just a clear difference and just discrimination to us, because you're looking at forcing LGBTQ plus people into spending thousands, 10 to 30,000 pounds in order to get to the same level field, I guess.
We just want to be on the same playing ground or field or whatever have you, just equal essentially, just so we can start on the same level.
Yeah. So
where does the NHS come into that?
Well, that's the NHS come to the fact that they will fund, well, depending on what clinical.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, exactly. So
what they will fund. So
you
you
can't do that.
And also, what is quite crazy is they don't recognise. So say if we did try home insemination, if we were using, I guess, a friend's or someone else's sperm, not through a sperm bank, they wouldn't accept that as proof that you've been trying.
Really?
But they'll accept proof that apparently heterosexual couples have been trying for 2 years. And that's something that we've kind of just dawned on us even while doing this petition. It's like, well, why do they believe a heterosexual couple's been trying for 2 years? They literally don't make you film it. So why wouldn't they believe us? It's absolutely ridiculous.
Have you obviously you've looked at the legislation and stuff. When was it last checked? Or reviewed?
Last reviewed.
Gosh.
Is it going back?
I don't think they ever have really reviewed it in the sense of comparing, to be honest.
So it might be time for it to be.
Which is one of the
that's
things
what we're asking
for.
Yeah, because Matt Hancock last year at a Pink News conference said that he would review the fertility sector.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's proof. So we're just reminding him.
So yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's clear evidence that there is something that's not quite right. The whole fertility industry seems to be a mess as well. I mean, even for everyone involved, essentially, not just us. With postcode lotteries, this, that, and the other. There's nothing.
Yeah, we did
streamlined.
Sneak in postcode lotteries as an ask for equality for all. In our petition. So basically wanted the government to do a review, look at the ban on home insemination from sperm banks, make it nationalised to actually adhere to the NICE guidelines, that they would fund 3 rounds of IVF for women and trans men under 40, because as we know, it's between 0 and 3 depending on where you live. Yeah, that's for everyone. So
and we also want
I think solo parents as well.
Yeah, single women.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, they're exactly the same position as us. Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. And we also are calling on data to be more collated for LGBTQ plus couples as well, just separated data, because we all kind of get lumped into one. So it's really hard to draw an accurate statistic of the success or unsuccess rates of IUI. So that's something that definitely needs to be separated. And lastly, we would love to have formal training implemented within the NHS staff of how to deal with LGBTQ plus couples
and families.
Yes, absolutely, because we've heard a lot of stories from our followers for instance, they may say, well, who's the real dad, you know,
Or who's the real mom?
or who's the real mom?
But they still ask
Who's
who's
the
the
dad? Yeah, exactly. But all these questions that can just really add like extra emotional
Yeah.
strains, just going to a simple appointment. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a clue what's in store.
no, we have no idea what's in store for us. But it's not their fault at the end of the day. They just haven't been trained. So if there was a nice streamlined training, system put in place, it sure would make it a lot easier, wouldn't it?
I hope so.
And has anyone done this kind of campaign before?
Not for LGBTQ plus people that we're aware of. There is another current IVF equality campaign, which is great at the moment, but that's mainly looking at the postcode lottery,
which is wonderful.
Specifically.
Yeah.
But as for our point of view, no, I don't think anyone has done it before. So.
And then for people who are watching and want to sign the petition, they go to the link in your bio, is that right?
The link is in our bio, yeah, and for ease it is change.org, well, can't get the word out, / fertility equality. So that's what the little short URL is. But yeah,
it's
otherwise it's in the bio. Yeah, go to what Wegan did next, click in the bio. And we also have graphics if you want to download and share them, and a template to write to your MPs. We put everything there, and a video if you want to find out a bit more.
Yes, and every signature means the world to us, so it really would mean a lot.
Yes, thank you.
Cool. And can you say how many signatures you've got so far? Is it going well?
I think we're at about 3,500 at the moment in about a week, so we're pretty pleased with that.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We're just gonna keep going, keep sharing, and fingers crossed we'll reach a certain level where we can, knock on 10 Downing Street.
Yeah, if we reach 10,000, that's like the level you can,
Is it?
take it to Downing Street.
Allow you kind of a meeting or some sort of I guess.
Yeah, apparently you can officially deliver it, and you deliver it to 10 Downing Street, and I think a policeman comes out to collect it. So that's kind of our next goal. But other than that, we're just hoping maybe someone else might get involved and raise it.
We just want to get the awareness out right now. Awareness is key, and that's the
so people,
really.
please share.
Yes, please.
Awesome, thank you. Well,
thank you for having us.
We will continue to watch your journey and the campaign and all the wonderful stuff that you do to raise awareness of different things. So thank you. And it was great chatting with you tonight.
Yeah, you as well. Thank you for all that you do.
Yeah, no, you're amazing as well.
Thank you. Have a nice rest of the evening, and thanks for
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye. Bye.